Hi guys, I want to bring you a testimony of a Jew who grew up in Gaza. There is another person that is pretty famous. His name is Dor Shachar, but this is a different guy. His name is Adiel. He grew up as a Jewish boy in Gaza. Dor Shachar is a Gazan that had converted to Judaism and moved to Israel. His story is amazing, by the way. And there is a video about him that I actually also sent to AP on the PragerU YouTube channel, and it has subtitles in English. And to be honest, I also told it to AP when I sent it to him that they actually, when they translated what he was saying, they really politically corrected it a little bit. For example, when he talked about Islam as being problematic, they changed it to, they removed the Islam part. Things like that. Maybe I should actually do a reaction to his story as well at some point, because he only speaks Hebrew and Arabic, and he gives interviews in Hebrew. But yes, this guy as well. So I have actually two videos of him. One when he sat down to have a conversation where it's called Kan Makshivim, here we're listening, and another conversation where he was featured in a segment in the news after the war had started. So the first segment where Kan Makshivim, where they're just listening to him telling his story, is before the war started.
כמה זמן גרת בעזה?
מסתבר 2.5, 3. אני זוכר גם את הבית שהיה שם. היה שם בגג, כבשים, עזים, תרנגולות.
אהבת להיות שם?
כן, מאוד.
ומבחינת הביטחון האישי שלך, הרגשת שזה המקום בשבילך?
לא.
And he said, and she asked him, did you like being there? And she said yes. And how did you feel about, how secure did you feel? And he's like, not at all.
כן, היה שם קטעים ממש ממש מפחידים. פתאום בחלון אני מסתכל על הבניין, פתאום פשוט מתפוצץ. היה שם גם מטוסים שמדי פעם באים לבקר.
בן כמה היית?
קטנטן, אולי כזה 4.
So he was like four and a little bit, and he still remembers it. He said there were really scary things, like I saw the building cross out of the window, like collapsing when it was bombed. Very loud, very scary.
מחמוד.
So his name was Mahmoud.
עדיאל זה, קיבלתי את זה
Adiel was the name that he got when he moved to Israel.
וואו, לא.
Do you like the name Mahmoud? He was like, no. My father is an Palestinian Arab and my mom is a Jewish Israeli from Ashdod. Did you always know that you're both? And he was like, yeah, I knew it all the time. And I hid it. How did you feel when she's asking, okay, so how did you feel as a child? How did you find yourself? He said, like, I always saw myself as Jewish. Also, he was wearing a kippah growing up. And most of the schools he went to was a religious school for boys. Even though his father is in a bad relationship with Israel, he says like he really has a very bad relationship with Israel. And he was wanted, he was arrested for security reasons. When they moved out along between Ashdod, Tel Aviv, Gaza. And he says, she said, is it hard? It sounds like it's hard to live in Gaza. And he says, yes, it's really hard. There is a lot of violence there.
פרץ מבצע, היה עופרת יצוקה, ואני כאילו זוכר את זה. אני זוכר שם...
He talks about the war in 2008. You're just remembering the bombings.
לבית, אז פתאום יש שם כזה בום.
Like I come home and suddenly there is such a boom. Like everything moves and the house is trembling. Were you afraid?
מתי דברים התחילו?
He asked him, like, were you afraid that you're gonna die? And he was like, yeah.
להשתבש.
So when did things start being wrong? And it was like from the beginning, it was ruined from, like it was, there was violence at home, shouting. They were chasing my mother because she's Jewish, who chased her, the father's family. Just to make it clear, the video after that, he actually said like how it looked like. At some point, they tried to move to Canada, and they were stopped in Egypt. He was stopped. So his mother contacted an organization called Yad Lachim, and it's an organization that helps Jewish women to live Arab villages.
כן. בן כמה היית?
2010, הייתי בן
And when he was 7.5, they managed to leave Gaza and go to Israel. She said, like, come fast. They got a taxi. They went to the border. He didn't understand what's going on. He was like, okay, we have to go fast. And he was scared.
כן.
It was scary.
טראומטי אפילו.
Traumatic even.
ואז הגענו
And then they arrived in Ashdod. It was weird.
מוזר שם.
שמחת להגיע לשם? הרגשת
Were
הקלה?
you happy to get there?
שכאילו...
And he was like, I felt like so many feelings.
כי אז הייתי
I really wanted to be with my father. I had like, I was with him everywhere. Even when he did stupid things and got in trouble. I was there with him. He took me everywhere, to the beach, to the forest, to shoot.
לראות בנשק?
And
באיזה
I was
גיל?
like, to shoot? How old were you? 5?
אהבת את זה?
אני פחדתי מזה.
Did you like it? No, I was scared of it. I didn't want to shoot. Why did he want you to shoot?
לא ידעתי איך לשאול.
And you need to ask him. I don't know why he wanted me to do that. To train you? Yes. Be a man. Go shoot.
אז
Like,
אתה מגיע עם אמא
rifle.
שלך ועם האחים שלך לאשדוד.
Okay, so he arrived with his siblings in Ashdod,
הובילו
and the
אותנו
mother.
מפה לירושלים.
and they were brought to Jerusalem
שם 6 חודשים.
to a sanctuary for
הייתי כאילו לא רוצים מילה.
beaten women
לא
who are
דיברת.
אחרי
escaping
שבועיים התחיל לי
violence.
הייתי...
2 weeks after arriving in Israel, he started stuttering.
לא הייתי בהרגיש ברח.
Now he talks about his stuttering experience, why suddenly he was speaking fast and had no problems,
מה
he didn't
אמרו לך
have any
שם
issues,
שהגמגום על רקע מה?
and it's post-trauma.
סיוטים כשבאתי לארץ, למקלט.
He had nightmares when he came to Israel,
על דברים שראיתי שם.
nightmares about things that he saw
גם
there.
סיוטים,
It's
תוצאות
like
עליהם.
she asked like about bombing, and like yeah, but also bombing.
דברים שאני, המוח שלי,
Things
בדמיין
that
שלי, דברים
things
מפחידים מאוד.
really scary
אני זוכר,
things.
היה לי איזה סיוט אחד.
I had one nightmare that I still remember. Everything was like blood. Everything around me was blood.
המטפלת שהייתה לי, כשהייתי בזה מקלט, אהבתי אותה מאוד, היא ממש
The
עזרה.
person who took care of me, the psychologist there, really helped them.
הרבה מאוד, אבל זה... אני מאמין ותורי שאפשר אפילו ממש
He said the
להעלים את זה.
treatment that he got was really, really good, and the psychologist
Okay.
really helped
לוקחים
him.
אותי לטיפול. עכשיו אני מטופל, אבל זה לא עוזר אם בבית עדיין כאילו לא טוב לי.
Even though he
stress.
got the treatment he needed psychologically wise, he was not happy at home. It was very stressful for him at home and in school. And at some point in the 7th, 8th grade, he already understood that he wants to be in he wants to go to a boarding school, a school where you sleep at. So he was there 9th, 10th, 11th grade, and he loved it. He really loved the place, the people, and him. That's the juicy part. So there, in that, as a student, so there is it's like student helper, but when I mean student, I mean it's some service. Okay. Okay, so here's the juicy part. When he was there, he met his now girlfriend, about to be wife, that is someone who served there. So she was not a student. She was like a teacher assistant. 18, 19, 20, something like that.
הכרתי אותה שמה.
היא תכף צריכה להצטרף אלינו לשיחה, מה נדבר עליה?
She's gonna join.
רק טוב.
אתה זוכר את הרגע שראית
Do you
אותה פעם
remember the
ראשונה?
first time you saw her? Yeah, I remember. I was in 10th grade, and then in the dining room I saw her. I came to her and I said, "What's up?" You know, to talk to her. And they used to talk a lot. We were like a cute couple, but she put it was completely a platonic. She put like limits. She was very strict about not crossing to something that is inappropriate.
אריאל, אבל כל הזמן הזה אתה גם מתמודד עם הזהות שלך.
הסתרתי את זה גם, אני לא סיפרתי לאף אחד. אצלם אני עכשיו לגמרי מוסלמי. כאילו, את הצד של אבא שלי.
So that whole time he actually didn't tell anyone that his father is Muslim. He said when it comes to that other side, their side, I'm 100% Muslim, like my father's side. Because my father is Muslim. But according to Judaism, he's Jewish. So it's like, yeah, so I choose what I want to be. And then, 11th grade, he actually flew to his father. His father found him in the Facebook. And then he got a phone call from his sister and mother that he got home real quick. And he saw that they were crying. And they told me, hey, we talked to, or his sister told him that, hey, I talked to dad, and he has brain cancer. Oh, I skipped. First, yes, brain cancer. So I wanted to get back in touch. He told me, hey, there's come to summer vacation and then go back. And then he ended up staying for 2 years. And I think it was in Egypt. But something made him come back. And he was like, yes, someone made me come back. Yeah, he kept in touch with that teacher assistant, as in friendship, and he was in love with her. And she didn't know that. And he started talking a lot to her, all the time, hours. And I always loved her, and I love her more now. So I wanted something to happen, and I was really stressed. So what, like I'll just leave and come? Oh, Sweden. Okay, so his father managed to get to Sweden. That's where he went to. So he was really afraid that she's gonna reject him. And then they bring his partner, Achinon.
איזה כיף שאת באה. איזה כיף לבוא. אז היינו בזה שחזרת לארץ. איך דברים התגלגלו משם?
אחרי 4 חודשים.
After 4 months, he just told her, listen, I came to Israel, but I came for you. And she was shocked. And like she was she was so shocked she didn't talk for 1 minute. And like first thing she said, like, I'm sorry. Because she was like, she wanted to reject him. She told him no. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong impression. And then he told her there is like a letter that I wrote, 25 pages of letter. And he can write. And then it's like with everything he felt. It's like 25 pages of you wanting to date her. It's like loops, yeah, like a punishment. And like, no, I just told her, why do I want it? What brought it to me? So when did it change? And she's like, I felt like I'll be missing something. And I understood, like, the first time when I said no, it was because I was scared and because, like, what people were gonna say, because she was his teacher assistant. And she realized that it's gonna be a mistake not to date him just because other people would have comments on her dating her pupil. First of all, I know him as a person. I don't know his someone like half-half. Like I know this person as he is. Okay, 7 months. Oh, you're still counting months. That's so cute. So where do you see yourself in? She's like, in a year, in 5 years. We're gonna get married. Yeah, they're gonna get married. Yeah, that's the plan. That's the plan. Getting married. Okay, now let me go to that part where he explained a little bit more about what his father's family was like.
מעציב בעיקר. מפתיע אותי זה לא, זה מתסכל
So this is after the war started. He was like, they asked, how do you feel about what's happening? And he said, like, it saddens me, and mostly it's frustrating. Actually, I could put like, there are subtitles in this video that I had managed to put on, but it's like an automatic translation.
שזה היה צריך להגיע למצב הזה.
It said that he had to get to that point.
ספר לנו על סיפור החילוץ שלך.
No, actually, I don't care about the story.
אמא שלי...
About his rescue story. His mother went to... she talked to her sister, and then her sister turned... and the person next to him, the woman next to him, is the woman that rescued him from Gaza. That's him in Gaza. 4-year-old. That's this is a kindergarten in Rafah. So my father is Muslim. Actually, I'm surprised the subtitles are kind of good. Okay, she didn't want to move there, but his father forced her to move to Gaza with him. Even when, okay, so she wanted to go back to Israel before, but they didn't let her. The Gaza family.
כשבאנו לארץ שהוציא אותנו, הוא ישב אז בכלא, אם אני לא טועה, הוא ישב בכלא. בין לבין הספקנו לברוח, המשפחה שלו התייחסה לנו בזוועה.
So his father was actually in prison, and while his father was in prison, at some point they managed to escape. But when he was also in prison, his family really treated them really badly. Just tortured them, shamed them, cursed them. They wouldn't let them. Okay. So they called her a smelly, stinking Jew, and they wouldn't let her leave the house at all, like the whole time. And they were all abused, beaten, like there were violences, like screaming, humiliations. And there was one time Hamas paraded under their house. They wanted to take his mother. He wanted to take his mother from, and they actually argued with his father. They knew she was Jewish, and the Hamas operatives wanted to take her. He was a little boy, so he doesn't really know what they wanted with her. But they came to the house and they were covered up with a RPG. There one person with RPG, and there were 6. Okay. So one person came, six Hamas members came to his house to demand from his father to give his wife away. And one of them had an RPG, and the rest of them had rifles and grenades.
כן. וואו. כלומר, הדברים שאנחנו ראינו כאן, שנחשפנו להם, אתה כבר הכרת כילד, ה-RPG הזה, זה כבר היה בעופרת, ברחה איתכם, נכנסה למונית, גם מונית שיתף פעולה עם אמא?
הוא לא יודע אותו.
הוא לא יודע שהיא יהודיה, היא דיברנו ערבית. היה חלון זמן של כמה דקות,
and then they talked how they got her out, like how the taxi driver, they had like a whole pretend.
אבל הוא קיבל גם שיחת טלפון שאומרת לו שיחזיר אותם פנימה.
זה היה במחסום, אז פשוט
Okay, so they pretended to go to school and then instead they took a taxi and ran away. something like that. It's actually not as relevant to this video specifically. Yeah. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. I have a Buy Me Coffee link below if you guys want to support me, because it really, really helps. And thanks for watching. See you later.